Hello again, and welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and we are pretty much halfway through the month here. So that means we are at the middle of the alphabet and the middle of National Preparedness Month, aka September, where we are doing our 30 days of survival, which, thanks to Little Rural, my 5-year-old, for giving me the wonderful and creative idea of using the alphabet for this. So if you are new here and this is one of your first videos, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. You can go at the end of the video. I have a little card somewhere over here that you can click on that and watch the series in its entirety. With that being said, let's jump straight into this one because today's letter is the letter N. And so I'm going to kick it off with neighborhood. So, the most important area that's going to be around you. Now, a lot of us will get kind of caught up in worldly news, national news, and things like that. The thing that has the most impact for you is your neighborhood, your area right around you. Those are the people that you come in contact usually on a daily basis or, at least regularly. So you need to focus on your area of operation, which is going to be your neighborhood. Get to know your neighbors, get to know the layout, get to know the streets, get to know everything so you know what everything looks like and what's familiar to you. So that way, something that's not familiar stands out. And your neighborhood in an SHTF situation, that's going to be the people that usually start banding together. Or if they don't, maybe you live way out in the middle of nowhere and your nearest neighbor is maybe a couple miles away. It doesn't mean that you can't trade and barter. It doesn't mean that you can't work together, even though that they're going to stay there, you're going to stay where you are. Doesn't mean that you can't communicate and help each other out. And so, whatever your neighborhood is, you may live downtown, you may live in the suburbs, you may live a little bit more in a rural area, but you still have an area that you can call your neighborhood. And it's pretty important to make sure that you are involved as best as you possibly can be, because that's the area and the people that's going to impact you the most. And the way to do that leads us into our second word, which is network. Networking is a huge fundamental cornerstone. It's one of the biggest things I like to really talk about when it comes to this channel, because on a side note, you can always tell on, at least in my opinion, the good ones from the bad ones when people are going, well, who else can I watch, or who do I go listen to, and things like that. If you are listening to somebody and they are putting others down instead of uplifting, then that should be a huge red flag to you. Those of us in the preparedness community, if I can speak today, uh, it's not a thing of who's better. Okay, I don't care what my ratings are. I don't care about follows, likes, anything along those lines. I want you to succeed. Okay, we're in this together, all of us. We're a part of the same team. It doesn't matter if you're East Coast and I'm West Coast, or North, South, whatever. We're a part of one community, and so even though you're not physically here with me on my team, you are still a part of my team, and I want every one of us that is a part of this to succeed and win. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm sharing all this with you, because I'm trying to help as best as I possibly can in this form, right? And on this platform and this format. And so when it comes to networking, reach out. It doesn't have to be somebody you can physically touch. There's been a lot of times where I've video chatted with various people. We call on the phone, we email, we text, we do all sorts of things, so that way we can communicate and share different ideas and knowledge and bounce things off one another. Networking is one of the key cornerstones to really, when it comes to preparedness. It is one of the things that I think a lot of people get into that mindset. The first rule about prepping is you don't talk about prepping. Well, if you do that, then you're not going to network and be able to expand. And I think that's a very, very dangerous idea. So, but there is a flip side to that, because you can share too much or talk to the wrong person, which brings me to my next word, which is negligence. you have to make sure that you're careful, right? There's a lot of dangers out there, and whether that's oversharing information, it's also things of being negligent to where it comes to the safety of yourself or others. So, you have to make sure that you get in the mindset that when you do things, no matter how big, how small, how dangerous or not, especially if you're talking about SHTF, very, very small things can take you out. While you're are trying to cut something with a small pocket knife and you are being negligent and not paying attention because you've done it 100,000 times, and your hand is in the wrong space, or something slips, or you have something pointed in the wrong direction, and now you make a cut. Well, if that cut gets infected, now you're using up medical supplies that doesn't needed, or it didn't need to be used in the first place if you would have paid attention and been mindful. But because of the negligence, now you're wasting supplies that shouldn't have had the need to be used in the first place. You're taking attention and time away because somebody's going to have to medically treat you, and things like that. There's a lot into it, or it can get seriously infected, and you can start causing real bad things. So make sure you're very, very careful. Don't be negligent when it comes to all this stuff. Don't be absent-minded. Take everything pretty seriously, even though it seems like a small task that you've done 1,000 times. Don't sleep on it. Okay, you can't just run down to urgent care, or dial for an ambulance and things like that. You're going to have to be a little bit more careful. The next thing that I'm going to do, which is going to be navigate. That's two different things. One is how you're going to navigate. What's your transportation? What's your mode of transportation that you're going to take when you try and travel? Uh, the biggest one that I think every single person needs to prepare for is on foot. How are you going to walk? Do you have the proper footwear, socks, things like that, in order to travel the terrain that you're in or that you may be going to? Next is going to be having different modes of transportation, whether that be your personal vehicle, whether that be a bicycle, an ATV, a boat, whatever it is that you plan on. Make sure that others can use it as well. Make sure that you have the fuel and the necessary maintenance tools and parts and things like that to maintain it, and make sure that you have backup to backup when it comes to that. But the other part about navigation is map reading. I think a lot of people sleep on this one as well, because uh, you know we have different map apps. I guess we'll go with that. I was going to say some other things, but you can go and use technology. Why do I have to read a map? It reads it to me. I don't even have to look at it, and it'll tell me turn left here, turn right there, all this other stuff. Okay, that works for now, but what happens if you don't have that? Do you know how to physically unfold a map and read it? Can you tell the distance? Can you get the map key and understand what different features are? Can you orient yourself to know what is north, south, east, and west? Um, there's a lot into it, and especially what happens if the only map that you come across is a topographical map. Can you read that? Can you put down a compass and orient yourself on a landmark? Where are you? Which direction are you heading? How far is it to where you want to go? Things like that. And so getting your navigation skills, I think, is another important thing that we should do. And then the honorable mention, it actually comes from Mrs. World today, and it is negotiation. And there's a lot that we can talk about. And actually, the more and more I thought about it, it almost could be its own video. But there's going to be a lot of different negotiations when it comes to SHTF, and that might be, negotiating with somebody to fulfill a role or a job or to do a task. Um, you could do any sort of a negotiation for a peacekeeping thing. You could have, you're obviously going to have probably negotiations when you start doing trade and barter and things like that. And to have somebody that has those skills on that can negotiate, the people skills, the communication skills, that somebody that can go out there, know how to negotiate, make a deal to where it's fair, not one side or the other side is coming out like a king on it, but making sure that it's beneficial for everybody. It has a mutual assurances and mutual rewards and things like that. Um, and somebody that at least has some practice in it. We'll put it that way. So we'll go ahead and end it on that one. So I hope you guys got something out of this, some sort of value, some substance, if not maybe some entertainment value, right? But that's what I've got for you guys today. So we're at the end of the video, which means it's my challenge. So for you, I want you, because I do not want to spoon feed you and say, here is the complete and final list. I want you guys to start critically thinking. And so drop down in the comment section below 1 or 2 words that start with N that is preparedness related, so we as a community can build the list together. And so with that, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you had a good day. I hope you had a blessed day. Stay tuned, because there's definitely more information to come. And with that, I want to remind you, remain united, because we're all prepping in this together.